It's a hard thing for you guys to like let go of. It's like, no, it's my fucking golf clubs. Like I know how to.
Right. Well, it's taken me a long time to get to this point where you realize, like, holy shit, there's so much you can do to make the club to change. If it's two draw bias, you can do something on the heel or change the setting in the driver. It's not necessarily just you, or even I'm still hesitant to do this, but like week to week, like this week in Jackson, I was everything was kind of pulley and left, and I feel like if I was perhaps a bit more open in hindsight, adjust the driver, or the irons were okay, but adjust the driver, even if it's just for a week to go compete. But yeah, there's so much they can do with equipment now to help the ball go straight.
All right, episode 306 of the Fully Equipped podcast. Now, this was a show, just a fair warning, this show was supposed to take place with the gentleman I'm going to introduce here in a second, like a couple months ago, but he's a PGA Tour player, and he gets busy, and we finally got him. We ranked him in for this week. Erik Van Rooyen, aka Freddie Van Rooyen, welcome to Fully Equipped podcast.
What's up, dude? It's a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to reconnect. I miss you. I don't get to see you as much.
Too.
Damn it, here we are. Now, talk to the people really quickly about the room that you're in. You're in your in the music room.
Yeah, music room / study. It's a little all over the place right now. I bought a Roland electronic drum set like maybe 6 weeks ago. I've been on the road for a bit, so I haven't quite spent enough time on there, like enough that I would like.
Right.
And after I got back from Wentworth, there's a Murphy bed in here as well, which you can't see. Went on a golf trip with some mates, and someone had to sleep there, so I had to like move the drum set into the corner, and I haven't moved it back yet. So in the music room, bunch of guitars behind me, a couple amplifiers, just toys that keeps me busy.
Just for the people that don't follow you close enough, but like music is your number one passion besides golf, obviously, but like
Yeah, exactly. It takes me to another place. Love music, love rock and roll, any type of music really, but definitely rock and roll, and I love playing.
Is it Yellow Card? Isn't that your band? Is it Yellow
Yeah,
Card?
that's one of them. I went to see him for the first time the Sunday before Jackson.
How,
It was epic. I went backstage with Sean, who's the guy that plays violin, and he showed me the guitars, the whole setup. It was sweet.
so we've talked about this. Like I'm asking you questions I already know the answers to, but I want the folks 15, 20,000 people will hear this show. And so you and I'd say of anybody on our staff, as far as personalities, worldviews for the most part, you and I are very similar creatures. Like the way that we kind of navigate our ways around the world. And I would consider you like like when you're out on tour, for example, like I would say they're all my acquaintances, they're all work acquaintances, but like you and I have become pretty good buddies over the last 2 or 3 years. But it's funny, like when I think like when I see you play well, I get excited, right? I send you text messages, I try to send you Bible, whatever I can get to just fucking like just get you ramped up. But like whenever I see you, and I saw I think it was JT's post or whatever, and I saw you and Sean, and you guys were all getting ready to go to the show, and you had your
Yeah.
black like ready to fucking go.
Hell yeah, dude. I was ready.
That boy right there could have shot 80 this morning. The happiest human being on the planet. Right?
The crazy thing about that is, in growing up in South Africa, there's a huge, at least the music that I listened to, there was a huge UK influence, and then there are all the kind of popular American bands as well. Pop punk, I was big into pop punk, and Yellow Card popped onto the scene with Ocean Avenue, and I was like seventh grade, and a mate of mine made me listen to it, and I was, what was that? I mean, 20 odd years later, no more than that.
Thousands. That was like
Yeah.
90,000. Yeah, that was like a long time ago.
So I'm watching them live. It was surreal. It was awesome.
Okay, let me ask you this question. So, being a PGA Tour player, you get access to go do some fun stuff, right? Like, I mean, you get to go to, I mean, baseball tickets, sports tickets, music, stuff like that. What was the one like, holy shit moment that you think that you got to do as a like becoming a tour player? Like, you got invited to go to this concert, or you got to go do this at a basketball game. Like, what was it?
For me, it was getting to know band members from a band called Biffy Clyro.
Okay.
Again, big Scottish band, and the the twins that play in the band, the bassist and the drummer, and the drummer messaged me, or he liked something on Instagram of mine. I'm like no way, this can't be them. And we started messaging. They both love golf. They came to New York, played a show. I met the whole band. Like that was
He's nerding out,
it
dude.
was unbelievable. Because just the fact that I hit a little ball, and they love golf, and we connected that way. So it's golf's taken me to some pretty awesome spots in life.
Golf is like the more so than any other sport. Like there isn't another sport in the world that connects everybody
Hmm.
like golf does. Like I can use like my relationship with Steph, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like we don't talk basketball. I think I'll probably ask him two basketball questions my whole time of 4 years I've known him. I've asked maybe two basketball, and it was like, how's the knee, and like when does camp start? Like
Right.
that's pretty it, right?
Right.
But about golf with guys like him or his brother, or I mean, a lot of the global ambassadors for Callaway that I would help fit and stuff like that. Like their eyes light up. And I've seen professional athletes. I remember at the U.S. Open this year, all the Pittsburgh Pirates came to the course and were walking around the trucks. It was like Paul Skeens and all these
Hmm.
girls, and they got into the trucks, and I was on the Callaway truck when they walked in, and they were all like little kids, like, can we open these drawers? Can we like, these are grown men too. It's not like they're kids. Like these are, $20 million athletes,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to touch anything. They didn't want to ask. They didn't want to not look cool. Like they didn't know what they were doing. It was. I loved it. It was so
Well,
amazing.
I felt the same way watching Yellow Card, and Sean took me backstage and he's showing me all the guitars, and it's like all these custom shop guitars, and then he shows me this Kemper amplifier that they play through, and I felt that way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just so cool, man. And yeah, like you said, there's no other sport that can bring people together like that. Like everyone, or not everyone, but like so many athletes play golf. You're not going to go play hockey with some
No.
randos when you're 65, or American football. You know what I mean? Like golf brings people together in a way like no other.
Yeah, so for any Yellow Card Sean fans out there, he is a legitimate gearhead. So
Hmm.
on when I was at WRX, he started following me when I was at WRX because he's a gear degenerate. So
Hmm.
like his favorite thing to do is 3-4 times a year is to go out and be like JT's assistant, quote unquote assistant on the truck. Like watch people walk on the truck and go to the range. Like and to him that'd be like me going and standing backstage at like a Michael Jackson concert and watching like MJ just cook for 3 hours. Like I mean
Yeah.
I cry. I literally cry. Okay, so we're gonna get to some. So thanks for that. I know we're not really talking about golf stuff per se, but we're gonna get into your game a little bit.
Mhm.
One of the players I've obviously followed very closely, but 2025 for you, I would call it peaks and valleys. I mean, I think
Yeah.
you had, and you know what you did. You're out there, but like if I'm looking at it from a fan slash friend thing, I would say obviously it was a year of transition with your game. You know, new things to work on. How would you grade so far 2025? Would you give it a, and you're the only guy I'd ask this question. Do you know why? Because you'll give me a really nuanced answer. You want to just go, I didn't really win, so I got a D. Like
It's both. There's a few things that happened that made it an interesting year. I worked with Sean Foley for a while, and I ended that relationship the Monday after Augusta, which was hard because Sean's a great guy. I went back to my coach from South Africa, Doug,
Mhm.
which I felt like was right for me in my game, which I was really excited about, and I feel like from that aspect, things are just going.
Yep. Yep.
From a results aspect, I think you said it beautifully. A couple highs and some lows. A lot of missed cuts. Couple second place finishes. One was with Scottie at Byron Nelson, which was pretty cool. Which was just gnarly, dude. Shooting, I think we both shot. I shot 29 in the front. He shot 29 in the front. I didn't see myself shooting. It was either 30 or 29 on the. I think it was 30 actually. Shooting 30 on the front and not making up any shots.
Which is just wild. I mean, I think what did he shoot? 30 under, 31 under.
30 something. I was 8 back. So
So
I think I was 23 under. He was 31 under par.
yeah,
Yeah.
you shot 63. I mean, you shot 63 the last round, and you didn't. I mean, what did he shoot? 62, 63.
We shot tied. We shot 63. Both of us. So like, which that was cool. Going head to head with the number one player in the world, even though I mean he had an 8-shot lead with Sunday, like with 1 round to go. Like that's just
You
absurd.
made it interesting though. Going into number 10, you're only like 3 back. Like it got gnarly. Like it got.
Yeah, and so that was cool. But I think overall, gosh, results wise, it wasn't my best. I'd give it a C plus.
See, I'd give it an A minus for growth and an
Yes.
B minus for because this is how I see it. If you want my take,
Yeah. Send it.
so with you, I'm always looking at how you raise your floor, right? Like your bad days and your struggles, like how the ebbs and flows of EVR and Feely out there on tour, like. And what I've noticed about your process has gotten a lot better.
Hmm.
Like your understanding of what you do well versus what you struggle with has gotten really, really good.
Hmm.
Um, get that when you get on tour, especially if you have a little success, you win, you start getting on these trends, start to forget like what it is about me that makes me a tour player.
Yeah.
Where I get excited, and I think I love that you went to Sean for a few months because Sean is a really awesome reset because
Hmm.
he understands your golf swing and he's very talented at that, at picking somebody apart and going this, and this, and this. But now it's like I think 2025 for you is one that you're going to look back and go, that was the pivot point. Like that year of miscuts and going head to head with the best player in the world and knowing I can sit and stand in the fire with this guy shot for shot. Um, I think you're going to look at this as one of the most important years of your career rather than just a career, just a year that I didn't win, had a couple of seconds, missed a bunch of cuts. Like, because if you look at it statistically, like, yeah, you have a bunch of red marks statistically, but what I see, if you start to look at your scores and how you played when you needed to play well, you shot some really low scores this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago, you probably wouldn't have shot that low under those circumstances. So, yeah,
I
I look at
think.
a bridge here, like a great bridge here.
Yeah, I think so. One thing that I was surprised by was my putting. I didn't clean up well at all, and I
Right.
came off a I'd say a good putting year the year before. I was top 25 in putting in 2024, and then for some reason I struggled sort of 8 feet in this year. Um, I made a change, went to the Odyssey number 10. Which before I was with Callaway, I played the Spider putter, the Red Spider, and
Right.
this is very similar. I switched to that about 6 weeks ago,
Yep.
and I'm excited. Already started seeing some good stuff happening. So, uh, yeah, the tricky thing is knowing that the difference between where I feel like I am right now and having a really good season, dude, it's
That much.
this.
It's that much. And we talk about that a lot, though. It's years like the PGA Tour will break you. It
Hmm.
will. And I always laugh when people would just go like, "Yeah, these guys aren't that good," or "He sucks," or he's. I'm like, if you understood how hard it is to achieve success, just to make it on the PGA Tour, but to stay out there is a damn near miracle. But like the difference between Eric Van Rooyen and Scottie Scheffler is not as gnarly as you think.
Yeah, it's not much, dude. It's
It's
not
not
much. So,
much. So like where I get excited, for you is like you've always been an elite ball striker. Anybody stands next to you and watches you, you're always going to hit it well at a baseline. You're always going to hit it good enough to win.
Hmm.
Drive it for the most part good enough to win. For you, you're one of those players, and there's not a lot of them out there that you just need to do everything at like a B minus level to win. You
Yeah.
don't need to have five superpowers. If you do everything at a baseline B minus level, then that's when you win 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
Do one thing at an A plus, keep one thing at a D minus. It's like this juggling thing where I think like um that's why I say like this year I think what you're going to notice, you're going to look back and go, wow, I raised my floor that year. 2025 is when I took my ceiling. Fuck my ceiling. It is my ceiling's my ceiling. You're going to get to where you want to go by raising your floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Higher, more confident you're going to have, more confidence you're going to have in yourself, and then you're like, no, I can do this. Like I can do this. I can win 5 times in a year if I need to.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, dude. I agree. Ball striking has always been sort of my bread and butter, and
right.
something that I've looked at statistically that's always gotten my way was chipping. I've worked with Derek Dominski for a year now, and um, finally getting to a place where it's like strokes gained zero, where I'm not like losing shots anymore, and that's huge.
That's minus, dude. That's just B minus. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, that's huge for me. So, dude, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for 2026.
So let's talk really quickly about just like what the rest, just to give people some insight in like what the rest of your year like for a tour player that you're playing in the fall. I don't know what tournaments you're playing in, but like what's your prep like leading up into January? Are you trying to, you're getting stronger in the gym? Like walk us through what that looks like.
I'm
October.
playing. I'm playing. I just played Jackson. I'm playing Utah, and then Mexico, where I won a couple of years ago. And then I'll be done. I'll have 2 months off until Sony. This time period is about is there irons that you want to try out?
Right.
Is there a different lob wedge with a different bounce that I want to try out? It's working technically on some stuff in my swing that I want to improve. Specifically, my left knee has never quite worked the way I want it to work. It kind of gets in my way on the downswing. I get narrow, and then I got to time it up.
Right.
Um, so it's addressing things that I feel like will help improve for 2026. Yeah, I'd love to win. I love competing, but everything I do, my gym work, um, my swing work, trying putters like I just mentioned out. That's all with the vision of being ready for next season.
So when you are like we'll talk this at equipment show, even though we haven't said one word about equipment, we'll talk about it now. So again, I know the answer to this, but just so people can hear it from you, testing a new golf club. So say for example, Kellen walks up to you and says, okay, hey, look, we got this new, I want you to try these new X Forged irons, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you test on, I mean, you're not a big tester on
No,
site. Like that's
no.
not, so walk us through, like you go home with this box of irons and you're going to test them. Walk us through like what that process is like.
Obviously, have your gamers with you, TrackMan, the balls that I play, and if we're talking irons, 9 iron, 7 iron, 5 iron, what do the numbers say? Does it even go the same distance? What's spin rate? I think the last few years, Feely and I, who's my caddy for those that don't know, we've been looking at perhaps getting the spin maybe a little bit higher. We've got greens on the tour that are just so firm, and getting the ball to land a little softer would be awesome.
Right.
So looking into that, what's great about the ball that I play is the wind doesn't, affect it too much.
Anything to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I add a bit of spin,
Almost too good into the wind sometimes.
yeah. So if I add a bit of spin, it's not going to do a ton to it. What's the turf interaction like? Is it diggy? Does it kind of bounce out of it? And then obviously, how does it perform? Can I hit, we talk about the 9 different ball flights. Can I hit a low fade, low draw, low straight, and just work my way up to the higher window, high draw, high fade, high straight? And how does it perform? And then take it out on the course. So the reason I don't like doing it at a tournament is because it kind of takes a lot of time, and I don't like throwing something in and I haven't actually played with it at my home club for 2 days or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it's extensive.
So like for example, like you played the Apex MB 18s for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
you were at Nike before
Hmm.
Callaway,
Hmm.
and with Mike Taylor and all those guys, and that's kind of like how that system works. And it's a totally different operation than normal. When Nike had Mike, they had like a genius forger iron for it. He can make you whatever you wanted. And then you go into a system with Callaway where they can do some of that stuff, but it's more conventional, right? Like you're
Sure.
handed. So you go from the 2018 MBs, which are great iron, and then you go into the TCBs.
Hmm.
So when you swapped into those, was it a forgiveness thing that you were looking for? Was it? I mean, what exactly was the trick there?
Yeah, it was a forgiveness thing, and curiosity more than anything. I played a blade style club since high school, and I mean, eventually technology is probably going to have some effect on it and an improvement on things. It was met from a place of curiosity. What I found was, yeah, I switched into the TCB the week before Sony,
Mm-hmm.
and just tighter dispersion. That was it. Tighter dispersion. I like to shape shots. I could still do it with that club. It was just tighter, and like who wouldn't want that?
Well, yeah, and the other thing is also like that iron also won the Grand Slam the last 3 years, so it's not like,
Yeah,
I mean it's a the most successful Callaway iron ever made as far as major championships and whatever, so it's kind of hard to argue. But like coming from where you were though, and this is actually I've never asked you this before, but you're going from a very low offset forged muscle back blade, very responsive, this and that, and you're going into like a short heel to toe, offset, cavity back. Was that a tough transition for you, or do you notice stuff like that, or is it literally just like gonna hit it and see what flies?
no, I think aesthetically it has to fit my eye. The minute I feel like I'm quite sensitive in that aspect. The minute it something looks quite off, it's hard for me to go, oh, just kind of close your eyes and hit. Like I see it and I get a feel for it. Um, but I think the transition it was way easier than I thought it would be,
Right.
um, which I was impressed by. So yeah, playing a blade for so long, I thought, geez, dude, I might have to try this for like 2 weeks. It was 3 days, and I was like, I'm gonna
And
take it to Sony and see what it's like.
you switched shafts too. Like you went from KBS 120s into dynamic, which are not the same, by the way. Like they're
No,
animals.
yeah,
So that was I mean, and I was shocked how quick the transition was too. But you did some crazy stuff to your bag. Now that I'm looking back, like I'm thinking about this, like you went to drivers. You're always good about like your Callaway's dream. You always switch in the new driver every year. Like that's never an issue. You know, you're like you're game for it, which I always love. Like even if you have to move weight around, take weights out, add lead tape, do whatever you got to do, like whatever, as long as it says elite on it, I'll make it fucking work. Right? That's one of the reasons why, like in Callaway marketing, we were like, yeah, EVR is like it was you, Siwoo. Um, there was a few of you that were like, yeah, they're gonna put it in. Like they might put it in tomorrow. Like this is
sure.
great. But then you go, and this was last year, I think. But
Hmm.
driver 3 wood, and then have basically going to utility irons. Now, like you're starting to see driver. Now there's a mini driver in there.
Hmm.
Now there's a 5 wood in there, a 7 wood. Like I've seen a bunch of stuff that's landed. I don't know if it's all in the bag, but like you've done some serious testing this year with stuff. So I wasn't there for that. I was already at golf.com. So like what sparked all that crap? Like what happened there?
Um, like you've mentioned, I've never been a guy to taste a ton of stuff and to change a ton of stuff, but I think my eyes have opened up to other possibilities. Um, the mini came into the bag Utah of last year, so it's almost been 12 months. It pretty much hasn't left the bag. Like it's freaking awesome. Off the deck, off the tee, so consistent. So they've obviously figured something out with that club. But then the 5 wood, the 7 wood, those are things I'll try, kind of course dependent. I even Oakmont this year, they gave me a 9 wood throw in, and it
I
was
have a
just like
it's ridiculous.
the rough was just, it was, there was no point. Like there was no point. And this thing like flies as high as a sand wedge, and if it's into the wind, like it's coming backwards.
Yeah, it's
You
awesome.
know? So I was like, it's too, this rough is so thick. I don't even think a 9 wood would work. But so yeah, it's more, I think, coming from a place of curiosity, trying to let the equipment help me instead
Yeah.
of me like trying to figure something out, muscle a 3 iron through this heavy rough, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the hard part. Because Rombo's like that too. Like Rombo's always, and you're like this. Rombo will always blame himself before he blames the golf club. Like he
Hmm.
will 1,000% ownership over a bad shot, even if the golf club's like wrong. Like he'll, he's one of those guys, and you're very similar in this fashion. Alex Noren's like this too. If they want something to work, you'll keep trying to make it work if you like how it looks, or if you hit a good one that you really liked, and like, no, it's there, and they'll just keep trying to find it. And the funny, and this is kind of what's happened to you over the last year, obviously, is you kind of realize that there's a little bit of control you have to let off of the steering wheel when it comes
Yeah.
to getting the tools in there, because that's when you let Kellen or somebody like myself, or any of those, any rep out there, and I'm not a rep, but like anybody that knows equipment, that's what they do at a high level.
Yeah.
So but it's a hard thing it's a hard thing for you guys to like let go of. It's like, no, it's my fucking golf club. It's like, I know
Right. Well,
it's
it's taken me a long time to get to this point where you realize, like, holy shit, there's so much you can do to make the club to change. If it's two draw bias, you can do something on the heel or change the setting in the driver. It's not necessarily just you, or even I'm still hesitant to do this, but like week to week, like this week in Jackson, I was everything was kind of pulley and left. And I feel like if I was perhaps a bit more open in hindsight
could
to
have your
just
iron flat.
adjust the driver, or the irons were okay, but adjust the driver, even if it's just for a week to go compete. But yeah, there's so much they can do with equipment now to help the ball go straight. It's stupid.
What was the transition? So knowing Johnny Thompson took over what I did, so he was your guy. So, and I'm assuming Zach took over. Is that kind of the
Mhm.
who's taking care of you now? So what was like going from one rep to the next, and working? You and JT are close. Like you worked with
Yeah.
him years. So like but that's a shift, right? I mean, getting somebody new in there. So like, how is that difficult for you, or is that?
Um, I'd still text JT every now and then and be like, "What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" Even though he doesn't do it anymore. But so yeah, there's that trust, and I think I've got to allow someone like Zach, who's new to the Callaway team or somewhat new, to step into that and let the trust build. Like that doesn't come overnight. Um, and yeah, let him do his thing. Kellen's obviously there as well, so I'll ask Kellen. But I think it was pretty smooth. I miss JT. I miss him, but it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it's for something like I guarantee you, for example, if I'm going to use Kellen as an example, if Rombo, for example, had to shift and work with somebody besides Kellen, he wouldn't be able to, like, he'd be like, I don't want to do this, because
Yeah,
some of these guys put it so much on the rep, and Xander's a little bit like that too. Like if all of a sudden Kellen wasn't there to answer his questions, I think, and
yeah.
not
Like
that
don't touch my stuff.
I, for you, like, get away from me. And so that's why I always ask the question, like, because sometimes those transitions are hard. Some guys are like, no, I'm not. I'll go. My guy works for TaylorMade now, and I'm gonna still have him work with my Callaway stuff because I trust this guy. Like if Adrian Rietveld for whatever left TaylorMade, I guarantee you Tommy Fleetwood's still going to be calling Adrian for help.
They're like this, dude. They're
Yeah,
not leaving each other.
they're best friends. So, um, okay, so we got the equipment stuff out of the way. Now I want to talk. This is what I've always wanted to talk to you about on a podcast, because you have when we've talked about life journey a lot, and like it's a miracle that you and I are friends. It's a miracle that you and I are on this podcast together. Coming from where you came from, you're in South Africa. I'm from Seattle, right?
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about how you grew up. like in your introduction into golf, a little bit about your old man and his influence? Like, I want people to hear that story because I think it's
Yeah. Um, Grew up kind of all over South Africa, really. There's a town called Pretoria, which is in the north. Went to primary school there. Didn't play golf, not really. I guess my dad started playing when I was 8, so but I didn't show too much interest. I'd maybe go to the range with him once every other weekend or whatever. Then we moved to a small town down south called Oudtshoorn, really kind of a rural town, massive ostrich farms, just Muni. And I was 13 at the time, and that's when other sports, rugby, cricket, track and field, kind of started taking a bit of a backseat, and golf just took over. Started playing junior tournaments. My grandfather played, so he was kind of the one that I wouldn't say got my dad into it, because my dad always thought this was sort of an old man's game. He was a surfer and did that whole thing. But yeah, once we moved, golf took over. I started playing junior tournaments. My dad would drive me all over the place, and found my way after high school going to University of Minnesota, of all places, which is wild. I didn't know too much about the place. They were smart on their recruiting trip because they brought me like middle of May. It was absolutely perfect.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they're not
So,
gonna show you February there, dude.
no, right. So, yeah, I went to Minnesota for 4 years, met my wife there, Feely, who's on the bag. We were teammates. Um, and yeah, I think when golf took over as a kid, it was always the dream of I want to be a professional golfer. Obviously, my heroes like Ernie and Retief, Trevor, they all played here in America, so it was this like maybe not this dream to play in America, but it was definitely a dream to play professional golf, and I want to be against the best players in the world, and I think that led me to playing golf in the US.
When, when did you become, at what age did you like, because you went from like starting to take golf seriously at 13 to playing for University of Minnesota. University of Minnesota is like not a hodrum program. Like
No,
they've had some good teams.
yeah.
What was that kid that was from Australia that won the NCAAs like 25?
Nash was it, or Bronson Lacassie maybe?
Oh, no. If you said it, I would know it. His dad was the one that started that leather grip company in Australia.
I know. His mind just escaped. It'll come to me.
It's James. I
Simon
think
Nash? Simon Nash?
no, it's not. It's
No?
like James something. Anyway,
Okay.
um, what at what age did you become like? Was it in high school? Did you go from like I want to play golf to like because you just said what every kid wants to do is like when they start playing I want to go beat Tiger Woods, but like 1 in 1 billion actually make it to that point. So like at what point you were like shit I can play like this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, great question. I don't know. I remember I was 14 and like I was dog shit
Right.
compared to 14-year-olds now. But I remember vividly a conversation with my dad. Like, he was like, if this is what we're going to do, like, this is what we're going to do. And it's got to be focused. And, we're not going to mess around with rugby anymore. These kids are starting to get in the gym and lifting weights. And
Yeah, little Freddie is all
Freddie
eat.
is
Yeah,
he's
all
6 foot and 150, so just hitting puberty. But I remember that conversation, and I don't know. There was always an incredible drive. I don't know if there was ever a moment where it was like, damn, like I'm actually good. I just always wanted to do this, and there was a feeling of, all right, I'm going to start on the Sunshine Tour. I got to get my first win, and then okay, I got to get my ass in Europe. So what do I got to do to get to Europe? Okay, tick tick tick. Um, Go to Q school. Um, didn't get my card. Challenge Tour. Okay, that was a bummer because I didn't get my full card. But all right, that's what I got to do. I'm gonna go to Challenge Tour and grind it out. Got my card, and then it's like, okay, well, what's the next thing? I want to get to the PGA Tour. How do I do that? Is it a coaching thing? Is it a psychological thing? And there was always just this pursuit to just get to the next level, man. Like there's no time for doubt. There's no time for I don't think I'm good enough. Like, sorry my language, but like, fuck that.
Right.
So like, I'll find a way. I'll ask the right questions. And if my coach doesn't know, like, we'll find someone that knows. So that's just always been the outlook.
It's really, really quickly. You just said something that just kind of actually struck a chord with me. So you're somebody I would call obviously a deep thinker. You're very cerebral, right? Like you think it, think of things like, you might want to talk to one athlete and you're like, yeah, 2 + 2 is 4. And you'll say, yeah, 2 + 2 is 4, but there's some other things to consider. Like,
Sure.
think obviously you're physically gifted athlete, you're a big dude and you have all the things that great athletes have. But like one of the things that I think that, which is why I think your best is yet to come is because of your worldview and how you look at yourself. And I think your ability to stay open-minded about how this game actually works, because you're always learning. You're not walk on a driving range like, no, I'm the expert. I know exactly what's going to happen. It's always like, I don't know. I'm going to prepare, and we're going to see if this preparation actually works. And if it doesn't, we're going to pivot. I think I think your stubbornness and lack of stubbornness, like I guess is what I'm getting at, is like you're like when to back off and when to push.
Yeah.
And skill set, like that's a social superpower that some people don't have. So, like the hard part that I think people will, it's like gray area of when somebody actually becomes great at what they do. I think it benefited you being kind of a big fish in a small pond, because that's where your self-esteem came from. Like you're kicking the shit out of kids. Minnesota, not going to Oklahoma State, not going, and every single step that you've taken has been right sized for where you were in the development of your game. Does that make sense?
Dude, you're spot on. And yeah, I was a 14-year-old kid, doing like all of us here did. We do putting comps on the putting green. We're like, this is to beat Tiger Woods in the 2023 Masters, and like that was always the dream. And but when I finished college, like I was not good enough to play PGA Tour golf. Like I just wasn't. And I arrogantly wanted to stay here and play mini tours and go that route, but it was my dad that convinced me to come back to South Africa. Um, for those that don't know, South Africa's got a great professional tour called the Sunshine Tour. The money doesn't compare, but it's incredibly competitive. And my dad was like, dude, come home, or start here and learn what what it's like to travel, learn what it's like to drive cross country and play against guys that are 40 years old that have done professional golf for 20 years that are going to kick your ass
Yeah, with families and mortgages and shit too. It's
with
like,
real life shit going on. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I want to go to web.com Q school and I'm going to cruise right in.
yeah.
But yeah, looking back, like I wasn't good enough. And I'm really, really happy that I took my dad's advice. Um,
Well, that's
and
that's one of the your dad too, really quick, is your dad's not somebody to trifle with. It like, so
no,
if you've ever seen Erik's dad, that's why I wanted to bring him up. And this is the funny thing, the beautiful thing about life and the elements of life for everybody. Like I can sit here and look at my life, and people say, "Well, you worked really hard, you did this." Like I stood on the shoulders of my parents. Like if my dad do what he does and he isn't the way he is, there's no fucking way I'm on this podcast with you right now. There's no fucking chance. But your dad is one of those guys, and he fits the South African stereotype. He's tough, he's stern, he's all the things, but like he's not somebody that you're gonna go, Dad, I really want to stay in the States and I'm gonna go beat these. Like he's not that guy. He's not that dude.
no, he's not that guy. He'll support me like to the ends of the earth. If the number one rule was always, I will support you no matter what, as long as this is what you want to do. Like, don't do it for someone else. Do it because this is what you want to do. So he'll go to the ends of the world from all three of his kids. But yeah, not a guy to mess with, bro. Like when I was growing up, I could go to my mom and be like, "Mom, like, can I have this?" I was not going to my dad.
No,
you know?
no. And but that's how it was. Like like I look at how my kids, and you have kids too. Like I'm more of a mother to my kids just because of I guess modern design of parenting. Then so like the way it worked at my household, my mom is from Guatemala, so like she was the headhunter, she was the lover, she was the killer, she was everything. My dad was like Hannibal Lecter, so
Yeah.
he thanked us but it was psychological warfare. So if you got with him, if you're in trouble, you knew two things. One, your ass ain't going anywhere for like a month.
Yeah.
Something that you hold very dear to you yourself, like your Nintendo or your DVD player, one of those fucking things is disappearing, and there ain't no guarantee back. That's how he.
Yeah.
Um. So I met your dad. I think I met him at Hilton Head last year. So you had that confidence with him, knowing that he's got your back, but you made this
Mhm.
right again, going and trying to be a big fish in a small pond, which was great.
Yes.
You learned how to play. Like you said, Sunshine Tour is a great tour. It's a nice gateway into the DP or with European Tour back then.
Yeah.
But the other thing, and I'm going to get wrecked by the Americans for saying this, but like most of the global talent, sustainable global talent, a lot of it comes out of Sunshine Tour and European Tour. All these young kids, that's where you see the Roms and right now you're seeing the granted they're on live now, but like that's where David Puig would have been. That's where
Yeah.
Byron would have been. And these kids would have just been beating each other's brains out. And that's a great place for a young guy like you to go in there and say, can I survive against these monsters? Or like,
That's the thing is,
yeah,
and yeah, to get back to your point, like I was every step I took happened at the right time. Um, Went to Sunshine Tour, okay, got my first win. Went to Challenge Tour, won. Progressed to European Tour, won, and it was like just slowly getting better every year. To it's like, okay, I'm top 50 in the world. Let's go see what America has to offer and what it's like. Um, yeah, I think whether it's Asia or Europe or South Africa, like, dude, it's such a good learning school to learn how to play professionally and sharpen your teeth to eventually play against the best players in the world.
so give me a real answer. How good? Let me make sure I'm phrasing this correctly. Like we talked about floors. Like what do you think in your heart is your ceiling? Like what are you capable of for your career? And don't say, "Well, I just want to play good, make money." Give me some real. Like, I want to win the fucking Masters, and I know I'm
Uh,
good enough.
multiple major winner,
Okay, good,
and yeah, like I've thought about that a lot,
good.
like a lot. And fuck, dude, is that ever gonna happen? I don't know. But if that moment comes, like I know I'll be ready.
But that's the needle, though. You and I talk about, where's your needle pointed? Like, I just wanted to hear you say it because it's not just me saying this. Like the people around you, like the reps and the people on tour, everybody that's in your week to week life, we all think the same thing. It's like when that guy gets his first smell of like major championship blood and he figures out how to do it, he'll reel off like he'll be a different human being because that's how you're wired.
Yeah, and that's the same drive, the same pursuit that I had when I started playing Sunshine Tour and just wanting to get to the next level. Like in my mind, like the PGA Tour is it, right? But there's levels within this, and so it's like I've won twice now, but it's like, okay, can I do it at Memorial? Can I? Then it's like, okay, can I do it at Augusta? And like, I know the answer. Like, I know the
Yeah.
answer in here, and I know the answer in here. So
We, the other thing is it's harder. It was more of a miracle for you to make it out of University of Minnesota and make it from the Sunshine Tour to the European Tour. It's harder to do that than it is for you to go from Eric Van Rooyen, PGA Tour player, to winning 3 or 4 times on the PGA Tour, maybe a major. It's actually a smaller step. You've already made the big miracle step. You've already made it. The next one's not as gnarly. It's not, now it's just looking back going, well, fuck. It's like it's almost like I look at it like I remember how hard it was for me to get sober, like 12
sure,
years. Like it was
sure,
hard. And I'm like, how do people get 5 years? How do people get a year? How do you get 30 days?
yeah,
But then you start stringing, and now it's like, and I've looked back on my life and I go, God, like I remember getting a year or 30 days was a miracle. I made it 12 years.
Yeah.
So whenever I see something in my life that I think is unattainable, I'm like, fuck no. Like if I can do that, as impossible as that looks,
Yeah.
like
And
then
that's why, and that, I think, or maybe going off a tangent here, but I think that's why doing difficult things as a kid or just throughout life is so important, because it gives you that faith that, like, I can do anything, dude.
right. Yeah.
Like, I can do anything. I've done the hard stuff. Yeah. Or in your case, like, you've done it.
100%. The reason I bring that stuff up is because and again, as your friend, I like to remind you of this stuff because I know hard, like you're gonna bury it somewhere and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, okay, that was hard. And one of the things that you and I have talked a lot about too, and granted, we don't talk about a lot about this on this show, but like you, like me, have a deep faith in something higher than us and something more powerful than us, and that's one of the reasons, and one of the things you and I connect on a lot is just on the like how small we are, you know, and how big and powerful this world can be. And I still think of you like when I think of you, and I throw Feely into this too because I look at you guys kind of as the same person. It's like you're like a because I want to see you succeed as much as I want to see him succeed. I want you
Yeah.
guys both, and it's funny like you're the this is gonna sound terrible, guys. This isn't really corny, but you're like one of the only non-family members that I have that I actually pray for. Like I'll sit
Oh,
down,
dude, that's so kind of you.
like give him the balls this week, like something, give him a bolt of lightning, give him something this week.
Don't make me cry, bro.
That's a real comment. Like I do, like you're one of the few people like I will sit there and like and I know like if you're this is again it's a podcast, it's gonna sound weird, but it just popped into my head. Like when I know you're struggling, I'll say give him some fucking strength this week, man. Like he's probably not super stoked with himself right now. Give him
Yeah.
some give him a ray of sunshine somewhere because that's all he needs. Like give him just show him the doors open a little bit. And
Yeah.
like and and it's one of the reasons I want to have you on the podcast so bad is because we don't talk about this stuff. Typically, this is like an equipment podcast.
Yeah.
Things that I loved about my career and doing what I did at Callaway was making relationships like I have with you, because we don't talk a lot about golf,
No.
but other shit. And if anybody listening to this podcast, like if you want somebody to root for, like a human being to root for, like Freddie Van Rooyen's somebody that you would root for. Like, and trust me, like when you win, when you're big one, I'll cry. Like I'll be like, fuck yes. Like I'll be really
I
excited.
love you, dude. Thank you.
I'll be really excited. Okay, last 5 minutes of this show. We'll get off all this sappy shit. But I like this is why I had you on. I wanted to have a real
Yeah.
talk. Um, I want to go back to music. So during your I'm getting good at golf phase, I heard whispers, and I think you showed me some pictures of you when you were like 18, 19. Like you were super emo kid.
Oh, yeah, dude. I've got some pictures that the
Like,
world doesn't need to see.
talk to me about that. Like, walk me through that. Like, were you like my daddy doesn't love me emo kid?
No, no, no. It was um there was a time period in South African music, or I guess specifically in Afrikaans culture. So Afrikaans culture um, is very conservative, very Christian, and sort of khaki pants, button up. Okay, and there's a moment kind of at the start of my high school in what was that, like 2003, where there were these bands coming out that were super rebellious, and like it was long hair, skin tight jeans,
Yeah, dude,
um,
killing it.
and huh,
This killer just kill. It was amazing. I remember. I know when this stuff.
yeah, and like that's what we got into,
Yeah.
and we wanted to copy that, and so then you listen to there's a 30 Seconds to Mars. There's a song called it's like The Kill or something, and the dude's got long hair and kind of same look, and I was like, that's it.
That's the guy.
That's the guy. Jared Leto is the guy. And so yeah, that was a phase we went through, and we wanted to like make that kind of music, and it was Blink 182. Tom
Oh yeah,
DeLonge had the hair that went down with the lip ring.
yeah.
Like that was it.
God Almighty.
So
It's funny. I graduated in '95 from high school. So I grew up in Seattle, so it was grunge.
yeah.
Right. I mean, it was full tilt grunge. We had Nirvana, we had Pearl Jam, we had Stone Temple Pilots, we had Nine Inch Nails. I
Mm,
mean, it was on, and Seattle was the hub of it all, right?
yeah.
Street Records, which I would love to take you to someday, was the record store that premiered Nirvana and premiered Pearl Jam, and they would go play these coffee shop uh, little shows
That's so
before they
sick.
were huge. Sitting there, it'd be fucking Kurt Cobain in there, and we used to have this place called the OK Hotel that all the high school kids would go to. It's the first time I ever saw Nirvana live. They played after a band called Medicine Hat, which was another band that was like fucking awesome back in the day. So anyway, this is how big of a poser I was. Though. I'm going to reveal myself. So I got into grunge because I noticed in high school, and I went to Kennedy High School, that all the girls liked the kids with long hair in the
Yeah.
soccer play. So luckily, I had a father that made a shitload of money, and I could pivot looks in 2 seconds. So I went like in the summer, going in like maybe my junior year in high school, I grew out my hair down to my shoulders. I had two earrings in this ear and an earring in this ear. Flannel shirts, cut up jeans, Chuck Taylors. I was dialed. It was supposed to be. But here's the trick. And I would listen to this stuff, and I liked a lot of it. I liked Pearl Jam, but I didn't love it like I did like Michael Jackson and Billy Joel. So I'd be, all of a sudden I started, reading Jack Kerouac books because I was so fucking deep, and I'd get it in the car, like I'd look like little grungy kid, and then I'd get in my little car, and the first thing that would come on would be like Beauty and the Beast soundtrack and like fucking Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
There was no grunge. There was no grunge music being played. It was high school, dude. You have no idea.
That's
Uh,
awesome, dude.
it was terrible, but we had fun. All right, so last bit. So in the bag right now, you still got that taped up elite driver. Because I want to ask you
Yep.
about you guys are going to start testing drivers here pretty soon.
Hmm.
Um, Mini driver, 5 wood, three utilities still in the bag.
Three utilities in the bag. 5 wood kind of hasn't been in the bag for a while, so it'll go driver, mini, 3 iron.
What are you going to do with those 3 irons when they crack? By the way, I
Uh,
have two. I have.
yeah, I need to get another one because I only have the one.
I'm gonna send you. I have. I actually. I was digging through some boxes, and I don't know why I have them. It's just probably something I just stole out of Pro Tour on the truck because I was bored. I have
Mhm.
two. I have a 2 and 3 iron still, brand new.
Dude, it's such a good iron. Like
Yeah.
I can hit it high. It's so versatile. So like, it's such a good club.
And then same wedges, Opus. Or did you put the SPs in there, or are you still in the other ones?
I've got the SPs in there. Great. Yeah.
We just went Nirvana to your bag really quick. So, uh, driver testing starts for Callaway. Historically, it's at RSM is when you guys get your first crack at it. Have you seen the new driver yet?
I haven't seen the finished product. I saw a prototype earlier in the year. I can't remember quite where, but I've seen a prototype. I haven't seen it with like the new paint job and
And
everything
you haven't
done.
you haven't you haven't hit it yet or anything? Okay.
No.
So for the folks at home, the way it works, RSM's usually so some of you guys, and I guess it's more by request than anything. Like if you wanted Kel and those guys to come to you, they would come to you. But
Yeah.
usually, what kind of fish in a barrel, most players don't want to test and have reps at their house and do all that shit. So like they'll go to RSM and do driver testing, which for gearheads is amazing because you're there and they're off range, back in the corner, and they have that whole testing, that whole fitting facility over there. And if you walked in there, you would see basically every Callaway head you could ever think of, driver
Yeah.
wise, in the candy store. So are you, since you're not playing at RSM, what's the plan for the new driver in the new woods?
I'll be at home. I'll get someone down and go at Bears Club and test like in my own
Okay.
space and spend a few weeks with it. Yeah.
Okay. And that would
Yeah.
happen 2 or 3 weeks kind of situation.
Yeah, that would happen after Mexico. My guess is early December.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then that's it. And then you just go get ready for Sony and
That's it, dude.
comes and do your thing.
Bring on 2026.
You're an interesting guy, Freddie Van Rooyen. I probably enjoy talking to you as much as anybody besides my girl and my kids. You're one of my guys. So
Likewise, bro. I miss you. I miss having you out, dude.
I know I'll be out there more next year, but this year was, I got a new job. I like this job. I have all these responsibilities now. Like I have, people that work for me
You've
now,
got
and I
stuff to do now, finally.
way more of an adult job than the last one was like. Besides being a tour player, I had the best job in golf.
Yeah,
Like did whatever I wanted. I live on an island. I just fucking, it was, but I can't do that forever. So,
sure, sure.
but I'll be out there. But it was an honor, Mr. Van Rooyen, to
Hmm.
have you on the podcast. I've wanted to do it for a long time. I'm going to bring you back on after you win your first one next year. We're going to bring you
Okay.
back on, try, and we're going to talk and we're going to evaluate. And I'm very proud of you, my son.
Thank
You're
you.
a better human being than you are a golfer, and you're a phenomenal golfer. So it's been an honor having you on the show. And
Thanks, God. Thank you for having me. Love you, dude.
love you too, pal. That is episode 306 of Fully Equipped with my boy EVR. What are you at Erik Van Rooyen on Instagram or something like that? Is that what we're doing?
That's it. Erik Van Rooyen. Pretty simple.
Okay. Uh, well, bud, that's a wrap on the show. Fully Equipped 306. We're out of here.